Hello, we are live. Hello, everyone. Come say hi. Tell us where you're from. Who's here? What is the war between you and Marilyn with the first comment?
I don't know. Just something we started having fun with.
Yes. Hello, Carol Sanders. I might be able to watch some bits and pieces today. Nice. I'm guessing this is a person from your channel, Lynn?
She's
Carol?
been no, she's been following me for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, I don't think it's someone from mine.
Well, welcome. Oh, you have people going up and down your stairs.
Yeah, I told her to be careful today.
Okay. Hello, Tracy. I will wait a little bit to let people start popping in. I have to learn how to do that countdown that you did the other night.
It's pretty easy. I'll show you.
Okay. Hello, Annie. Annie's birthday is today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Annie. Happy birthday, Annie. I'm not going to make it yours longer than that. So we have 3 people watching us. Tell us what you've been doing on this week. What's been happening?
I know. I hate this time change. I hate this time change. I feel like we jumped ahead like more than an hour.
I don't know why, but it hasn't had impacted me yet.
Maybe tonight.
Maybe tonight. Well, I went to bed super late last night, forgetting that it was time change, and then
that's what I did. Maybe that's why I'm feeling it.
This morning, my kids came down. I'm like, "What are you guys doing here?" It's like way too early. Your son is here.
Yeah, he was here a couple of minutes ago telling me I put it on the TV in the living room. We're going to watch it.
Hi, Remi's family, whoever's watching. Hello, Angie.
I loved your video, Remi, with the kids. That was great.
Try to have fun. The kids, we laughed so much. We tried to record the first part, and we just kept laughing and having to start over. And whenever we would start, I had to turn my head around and just not look at them because it would make me laugh, and then they would laugh. And
it was perfect. It was perfect. Yep. That video, I loved your intro video and how your kids expressed themselves.
Yeah,
of how they were looking forward to what was growing this year.
They did a great job.
Yeah,
thank you.
Pop a moment of being proud.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, so I think we have waited long enough. Lynn, it's the first time you are live on my channel. I would like you to introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself and your homestead.
Okay, my name's Lynn. My last name is Guitar. Yes, that really is our last name. We get that a lot. I live in Ontario, Canada, and I'm married, and I have 2 children, a teenage girl who's almost 19, which still just drives me, I can't believe that. And our son is 15 in a few weeks.
Wow, all grown up. Well, almost all grown up.
Almost grown up, yep. So we are a military family. I'm going to say we're still a military family. My husband retired full-time from military last summer after 30 years. And but he's in reserve now. So he's still in the military. So I guess we're still a military family. He just doesn't go away anymore. Thank goodness. So I'm going to say we kind of homesteaded pretty much our whole married life, and we've been married 29 years this year. And we always had a little garden in every military home we lived. It wasn't usually very big because not a lot of property with military housing, but we always had something. My husband grew up on a farm, so he's really I don't think there's an animal you could name he didn't have. And his mother always had a huge big garden and everything. But I think we seriously got into it. I was diagnosed with cancer for the first time in 2012. And during my, I've had it 4 times. That was the first time. But yeah, during one of my treatments, I said to my husband, I want to do a bucket list of not things I want to do before I leave, but things I want to do when I'm better.
That's
So
nice.
So we made a list, and at the very top of the list was buying our own home. Finally, we had had enough of living in military housing. By the time we were all done, we had lived in military housing for 20 years. So we had had enough of it and we wanted our own home. We wanted something with not huge amount of property, but enough property that we could do what I wanted. I wanted to have chickens. I wanted to have fruit trees. I wanted to have a giant vegetable garden. We wanted enough property for our son to ride his four-wheeler around. A place that when we came home at the end of the night, it was peaceful and not stressful. And so we got our home in June of 2014. And I wouldn't say we started right away because unfortunately 2 weeks after we signed the papers for this place, I was diagnosed with cancer again. So the first year we lived here, I couldn't do a whole lot of homesteading. I did a little bit. We did a lot of farmers market shopping that year. So, but the second year is when we started really, and it's just grown every year. I think one of the things I learned is you can't do everything at once. It's just, there's never enough time, there's never enough money, and there's never enough time. So we've had to gradually we try to pick one or two things every year that we wanted to add until, I don't know, are you ever done? I don't know.
Or until you run out of space.
Yeah. So
you've been actively a homesteader since 2015. 16.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And you said you were in Ontario, right?
Yep.
Okay. And you were originally from?
I'm originally from Maine, actually, in the States.
Wow.
Yep.
Is it a big difference between Maine and Ontario?
Yes. Maine and New Brunswick, no. My husband's from New Brunswick. But Maine and Ontario, somewhat. Weather-wise, we had a lot more snow in my part of Maine than they get here in the winter. So the winters are a little bit easier here than they are in where I grew up in Maine, for sure. But my daughter says I'm officially now more Canadian, though, than American, because I've lived in Canada now longer than I've lived in the States. So.
And what is your favorite thing about homesteading?
Oh, that's like asking me to pick my favorite child.
Okay, well then your top three.
So I'm gonna say one of the main things is I love that feeling of accomplishment when harvest comes, and you go out there and you're like, oh, I have peppers, oh, I have tomatoes, or that first big pumpkin I got. That I think the whole neighborhood knew that my pumpkins grew. And it just knowing I'm feeding my family healthy food, we know what's in it, and we also know what's not in it. Right. So
that's true.
That's important. And it's very, you get such a sense, I do anyway, such a sense of accomplishment when the harvest starts coming in. And I'm going to say that's probably one of my favorites. I definitely love the food, the food that we're growing.
And if I go on the other side of that question, what is your least favorite thing?
My least favorite thing are bugs.
The snakes.
The snakes. Bugs meaning like the bugs that go after your vegetable garden, right?
Yeah.
We try to do everything organically, and it's so easy to use the pesticides to get rid of them, but we don't want to do that. So I kind of have to factor in, okay, I'm going to lose a little bit to you guys. As long as I just lose that little bit. So I'm going to say probably the bugs would be my least favorite. And I actually made a note because my memory is terrible. So, but, and I'm going to say how exhausting it can be, not just physically, but mentally. Like even something you enjoy and love, it still can be exhausting, right? I mean, especially when you're so dependent on Mother Nature for a lot of homesteading, right?
Yeah,
So
I crash every year in September, October. I crash every year.
Yep.
There was a comment for you. I missed it. Where is it? You are always going to be a military family. Thank you for his service and your sacrifice.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm never going to be. It's going to be I think forever. It'll be a hard time. We've been in a long time. So
Hello, little house by the woods.
pine tree work.
Ecocentric just came in.
Hello, Ecocentric. Hello, everyone. Listen to live while going to make some bread with pine tree back.
Is that supposed to be bark?
Probably. Pine
I've
tree
never
bark
heard tell of that.
back. It's the first time. I'm curious. I don't know what this means, but it's
Film
probably...
it.
Yeah, film
Video
it.
when you want to see it.
And if you would just have to choose one, I know this is the hardest question for me. One vegetable or fruit, which one would it be?
Bell peppers.
Bell peppers. Okay. So you're not a tomato lady, you're a pepper lady.
Bell peppers to me are what tomatoes are to you.
Well, my second favorite to grow are peppers.
Okay.
But it's only new because when I started my first year, my peppers stayed 18. They started 12 inches tall, and they stayed 12 inches tall.
They didn't grow.
They didn't grow. So now I know what I did wrong. But like the 3 first years, I had like 0, 0, 0 peppers. But once I figure out how to grow peppers, I had like so much last year. I'm like, oh my God, I love peppers.
Yeah, it's funny because they didn't die, but they didn't grow. They literally just.
Because when you transplant it outside, the nights has to be a certain temperature and the daytime has to be a certain temperature. Also, if they are root bound inside the house, well, then they have like double stunt. Like they're going to be stunt when they get outside because of the cold. So they have to recuperate from that. And then they have to recuperate from the root bound. So it takes maybe between 10 to 30 days to recuperate from that. And then they start to grow. But by the time it is the prime for them to actually grow, they're still recuperating.
Yeah. I end up usually around September. I'll start looking at them and I'll start bringing them in because we don't like the green peppers. We like the reds, and of course all peppers are green. But I'll bring them in and put them in a box and let them color.
So yes, I've tried that. It works.
It did. It worked. I was shocked. I did it last year.
I found that like oddly, I didn't even know it was possible. Like I went and I don't know what I did. Like I left it on the counter and then it fell behind something on the counter. And then 2-3 days after, I know that I harvested. The shoulders were a color, but the rest was green. And then it was the full color. So I'm like, wow, that's fun.
Yeah. I thought they had to stay on the plant till they changed. I didn't realize. So of course I go to Google, and I start researching it. I'm like, they say you could pick. So I did, and by gosh, it worked. So
the only thing is, I think you can't save the seeds. I think because they did not mature on the plant. I would have to do the test on that.
I think some of the ones I planted were from those. So we'll find out.
Let me know because I'm curious.
I'm trying to think. I mean, it would be impossible because I saved so many, and I know I saved some that were already colored on the vine and some that weren't. So yeah, well, if nothing happens in the next week, maybe that's what it will be.
You'll find out the hard way. Yes, the exhausting part is the worst. Your son has so many messages for you. I guess I love watching my dad live and other people. Angie is a pepper lady too.
Hello, Sean.
Hello, Sean. But it's such a good turn. It's an earned exhaustion. Yes. That's really.
Yeah.
It's even like stress-free a little bit.
Yes.
Well,
it helps.
It's hard to describe when you crash at the end of the season. It's not because you're stressed. It's not because you didn't like what you did. It's just like you were so focused on everything harvesting, and everything has a window. Like if you harvest something at prime, you have maybe like a 2 to 3 days window to preserve it. So if something comes up, you have to freeze it.
Yep.
I feel like it's like playing sports. You know, when you're in the final of a tournament, you go, you had the energy. Like I used to coach. And it's not because I was playing that I was tired, you know, it's just to be there, the emotions, everything. Like you grow your stuff, you're just you said, you don't want to waste anything, so you want to preserve all you can.
Yeah,
And then it
you're
just go.
yeah,
You have
that's
to.
what I was gonna say. It's go,
Yeah.
adrenaline, and at one point your body like says, I'm
Yeah.
done.
And I mean, as much as we love it, it's just like like you said, you don't get a vacation either, right? Like you see,
No.
so by the time fall, as much as you love gardening, you're like, okay, I'm ready for the slow time. Like, okay. And then in January, you're like counting the days to when we can start.
No, this year I took it very differently this year. It's actually Annie from Mama Homestead in January that's like, you're not planting your garden? I'm like, no. I'm still recuperating. I'm so exhausted. I just can't focus on the garden just yet. It only started, I would say, mid-February, end of February, that I was like, okay, now I need to get I need to get in the groove because
Me too. Yeah. Well, I kept seeing everyone else start, and I kept saying, Lynn, they're not in your same zone.
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes. It's true. Hello, Marilyn. Yep, body tired, not so much. Mind tired and stressed from office things. I don't work, so I don't work.
You work.
I don't. Okay, I don't
work
have
outside the house.
That's it. Like, I don't have a career that I have to leave my house and work like a 9 to 5 like Remi. But like, I am a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a homesteader, I'm a baker, I'm a teacher, I'm a counselor. I work.
Nurse.
Nurse. Yeah, nurse. Well, the nursing aspect is more my husband, because he was a firefighter.
Okay. Yeah, my husband usually takes that care of that stuff too, because he's had all the first aid and all that.
So when it happens, like when there's a lot of blood, I'm like, honey.
I don't know why. It's the same thing here.
Well, because he was a firefighter, he's able to control his emotions way better than me. And the kids always hit their heads, and it's where the head is, there's a lot of blood, so they can just like have a little bump and then there's a lot of blood everywhere. And then me as a mom, I'm like so, and like when my kids see me panicking, they panic. So as soon as a situation like that happens, like, I know my weaknesses and I know his strengths, so I'm like, can you take care of this, because I know you'll be able to control your emotions. Mom sometimes can be all over the place.
See, by the time they get to my age, you start saying, okay, are you hemorrhaging? Is it broken? No. Okay, you're good. Clean you up. Off you go.
Yeah. Well, mine are still young, so they don't understand. Like, they know they're hurt, but they don't know to what degree yet.
That's my friend Paula.
Lynn is a great baker too. We are going to her house in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Yep.
Gosh.
I have so many things I want to do. The energy runs out before. It's true.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks, Tracy. The energy runs out before finishing.
Thinking
of what. True. What was I doing? My energy is usually gone before I start. Well, at least have the energy to start, and then I used to scare of blood too, but now I learned to it's not that I'm scared of the blood. It's just I'm scared of what could happen,
and not knowing what to do.
Yeah, well, it's because
it's your babies, right? That's what you're nervous about.
I experienced a trauma 2 years ago. My mom was on a trottinette. How do you say trottinette in English?
Little scooters. They're
those electronic scooter.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, my mom left my house with my son. She did not have a helmet, and she fell.
Oh.
And my son came back home, and he says, Mamie is not good. So she was at the end of my street, and she was laying in a pool of blood. So now when I see blood from the head, it's even though like I made peace with the situation, it's still come back, and my kids were present.
Yeah. Is she okay?
No, she survived and everything, but she was in the hospital in a coma for a couple of weeks, and then She woke up. She lost a bit of her memory, but some of it is coming back. And now she is officially considered. She has her driver's license back, so she's considered, like, medically she's considered normal, but she still forgot. There's some part of her memories that will never come back.
Yeah. Wow.
So when I see blood from a head,
that makes sense.
Like it comes back a little bit, but like I know every single injury is different, but it can't leave me. And it's like super fresh. It happened the first year of COVID. Yeah. So and I wasn't able to go visit her at the hospital. So that's why it makes this trauma even harder on me.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's like the negative part. I didn't want to talk about negative. Did I miss anything? I'm not. Blood is just weakness leaving the body. That's pain. Never mind. Yeah. Okay, so today's topic, why do we feel it's important to prepare, to stock up, and learn new skills? So I prepared a couple of questions for you guys. Feel free who wants to answer first. And in the comments, if you would like to answer, I will read you. How do you feel about the cost of everything going up right now? Whoever wants to go first.
Ladies first.
Oh, okay. So I feel sad because I know there was already so many people struggling, and I'm sure it's only worse now. I'm a little bit angry about how expensive it's getting. Not at anything in particular. It's just the feeling, right? When you see that price, it's higher. And I'm nervous. And the only reason I'm nervous is because we have a special needs child who has dietary issues.
Okay.
There's certain things, there's only so many things he will eat. And a lot of them is, he doesn't like homemade a lot of anything. Like it's really difficult. I'm nervous I won't be able to find those foods. That's what makes me nervous. Everything else I can do from scratch. That doesn't, bother me. But to have a child who has, dietary issues like protein shakes, there's only 2 certain kinds he likes. One we have not been able to get in over 6 months. It's been back order. That's all we keep hearing. Luckily, I did find one he likes. The problem is it's almost twice as much as the ones that he was drinking. So the cost for them, has gone up. So that's the only reason it makes me nervous is for his sake.
Okay. And how about you, Remi?
We were talking, one of my coworker and I, a couple of weeks back about how, historically speaking, everything has been going up. And not just going up, but going up faster than the salaries are going. So it's not just food, but since we're talking about food, I mean, I'm scared for my kids. I'm scared for when they have kids, because what was considered to be a good job, or like a not rich, but someone that was maybe a higher class of job, is now considered middle class. If you back in the days, I make $26 an hour right now. I have 5 kids. I mean, I run barely even. But I can only imagine someone, working a little bit lower than me. It must be so hard because the food just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And back in the days, if you go back 30 years ago, minimum salary was very, very low. But then again, 2 people on the minimum salary were able to survive.
Yeah.
My dad used to work at the mill. He lost his job. He was making $25 an hour. Close to that there in the early 90s. He ended up working as a mechanic. I think it was working for like $9 an hour. I don't even know how he managed to do it. We went on vacation every year. We played sports. I've talked about that before on one of my previous lives, but it just shows that if I was to fall double the cost of or double what the minimum salary is, I can't even afford to go on vacation now. I can't see how that would be possible
Yeah.
if if I lost my job and had to go work a regular or not a regular, but I mean a minimum salary job. Um, it just doesn't make sense when you hear about so many people being out of food, like they're struggling to buy food. We talked about it, Annie and I, last Friday. I mean, it's heartbreaking to see that kids can't even afford to have a decent meal during the day.
I know.
So,
I
and it's
know.
not getting better; it's just getting worse. So yeah. How do I feel? Well, I'm kind of scared because it's not getting better. That's the point.
Yeah.
For myself, the first feeling is I'm scared. Uh, Not because at large scared. Like there's a lot of emotion in that. When I went to the grocery store on Thursday, it cost me $198 for five. I had no meat. There was no splurge. Like when I say
Yeah.
splurge, there was no pizzas. There was pre-made stuff. Like I bought a kilo of chocolate chips because a kilo was on special, and if you buy a kilo, you have it for longer. I bought 4 celeries, $11. Like
Oh,
the only vegetables I eat fresh during the winters is celery,
that
carrots.
is crazy.
And I don't want to buy like those full of sugar, full of crap snacks for my kids. So I
Yep.
buy celeries and carrots. I bought 3 bags of carrots, 4 celeries, and that's $15.
Yep.
And I know if I would have went in the direction of buying cheap snacks, it would have been cheaper.
And you would have got more, and it would have probably done 2 weeks or something. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not sure it would last
Okay.
because when it's sweets, the kids will have a tendency of eating more of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And like when I got home and I was analyzing everything I had and was like, thank God that I'm growing food. And because I used to do my grocery $90 to $150, like depending of the weeks. And if I was going every 2 weeks or whatever. But now I'm never under 200.
We aren't either.
But like, how did I'm still like the questions, why, how. So I am worried, I'm scared. And on the flip side, I feel blessed that when I was pregnant with my third child, we decided I was going to stop working and start our journey to grow our own food. So I was able to learn all the skills I needed to learn to get where I am now. So at least I feel, in my worriness, I feel a little bit more secure. But like I still feel unsettled because I need flour, I need butter, I need salt. Even though you buy them in bulk, if they're more expensive, well, in bulk, they're still going to be more expensive.
And if I may add to what you just said there, yes, junk food is cheaper on the short term,
Yeah.
but I've seen it in my household here where my oldest daughter like is gonna need to go to the dentist like 6 times in the next few months. I had to get a tooth removed because it was getting bad. It cost me almost $1,000. So cheap food at what cost?
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
You know.
We are in a rat race. The winner is Chief Rat. It's not funny, but yeah, it's true.
No, yeah.
This message is for you, Lynn. What kind of shakes? I can look it up.
It's actually the Walmart brand, the Equate brand, the chocolate. It's just that, and it is. He, for some of all the things he's so picky about, he actually prefers the off brand.
Is it the Vega one he enjoys?
No, I wish. Well, I'm glad not, because those were really expensive. We literally, I could not even tell you how much money we spent in a year trying to find one he liked. We spent so much money on different ones. And then I just bought a big case of them at Walmart or Costco when we went up, because I've heard so many good things about him. Everyone's loving them. Got home, he opened it, tried it. He's like, Mom, he said, is there stevia in this? I'm like, oh, I didn't even think to look. And sure enough, stevia is in them. And
He's
people
speaking.
have, so certain population has you have a gene in your DNA where stevia might taste like black licorice to you. Well, guess what? All 4 of us in this house have that gene. And I hate black licorice.
That's what I was going to say. If you don't like it, you're screwed.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it. So now we've got, all these. So my husband said he can handle them. So as long as somebody's drinking them, because we spent, we bought this case hoping he would like them. I took a risk. So
But
yeah.
if it's not opened, I'm sure you can either resell them.
Yeah, I mean, my husband said, he goes, I'll grab them in the morning and drink them in the morning for work. I said, okay.
Oh, is it the powder one or the pre-made ones?
It's the pre-made. It's
it's the liquid form.
Yes, yeah, oh yeah, because if it takes too much effort, he won't do it.
Tracy says price going up. Mad, sad, and excited. Mad because it doesn't have to happen. Sad because people are hurting. Excited. That's what I was going to say. I'm watching the Bible play out in real time. Ecocentric says collecting tools and skills is like planting perennials. They show their real value in bad years.
That's fabulous. I love that.
I love this saying.
Yep.
This should actually be written on a bumper sticker.
Yep. It should.
Okay, I'm going to take a picture of this.
I know. I think what's sad too is like, because I have older kids, so we talk about world events and everything. And our son said, he goes, Mom, he goes, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to buy a house. How am I ever going to? And there was a study, it was on the news here the other day, that said that out of 10 20-somethings that bought houses last year, 6 of them had help from their parents buying it. 6 out of the 10. And I just looked at my husband and I said, we're not really going to be in the position to help our kids.
I needed help from my dad to buy this house. I can't even imagine helping my 5 kids to buy a house.
Like my daughter's always talking. She loves the tiny houses and she loves them, right? And she's almost 19. And I said, look, we could probably build one on the property here. Get you your own little hookup and everything, and you can get them for around 18 to 20,000, and then you can add your own things to them. But I mean, it might come to that.
Yeah, because they have to go to school, university, college, whatever. They come out of there with so much debt that they can't even afford to put like $1 per month on.
How are you supposed to save for a down payment when you're just trying to survive?
And now they're asking for 10% down payment. 10%, and
the average house here is $500,000 now.
Exactly. Can you imagine?
$50,000. How are they supposed to save $50,000?
I don't know. I don't know. Before I actually get behind on comments, I'm going to read. I have so much respect for people with families that are still making a go of it. I am one person and I'm still hard. Without canning and growing your own food, I don't think I'd make it. It's sad. I agree. I always keep cash aside for special deals when something I use isn't a great deal. That was part of the tips an answer to the questions, but thanks, Sean, for telling me. Yes, that's something I do. When I see something that's on special and it's in bulk, and I have a way of preserving it, I stock up.
Yeah.
One of the bosses I had back in the days, he was really strict on his budget. So let's say you put $200 biweekly on grocery, for example. Well, you would always try to make it last an extra day. So it would go 15 days. So, this Tuesday you buy grocery. In 2 weeks, you'll go until the Wednesday before you buy the grocery. And then the following week, you'll go until the Thursday and so on. And
so he would buy 4 or 5 days per month.
Yeah, but eventually you get to the point where, I'm having a paycheck from 2 weeks ago, and I'm having today's paycheck, and I only need half of it to buy my grocery. So the other $200 you would have left, you would put it aside, like Sean just said there.
Yep.
Put it aside and buy something in bulk.
Yep.
That's the way he did it. And I find it pretty smart. It's hard to do, but it is smart.
there's also another trick that I do. Instead, like I do my grocery list, and sometimes even though it's on my list, I don't buy it because I'm trying to do something like either try to create it, like make a homemade recipe instead of buying it. And then my other way is I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put it on the list when it's on special. I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna look in my pantry, and I'm gonna figure out how to use what's there to see how far I can push whatever I have as dry goods or frozen or whatever. Angie says, I'm worried too, but more for our children's future. If we are struggling now, man, I can't imagine. How are they going to buy a house and feed themselves? As a parent, it's true. As a parent, well, mine are still young, so many things can change from that point. But I do hope that it turns out for the better because.
Take care, Sean.
Sean has to leave?
Yeah, he's going live in 25 minutes.
Yeah. Bye, Sean. Thanks for popping in. That's not for me. And if you want to buy organic, it's true. It's
that is so much more if you buy organic, and you want to buy organic. I want to, like, we try our best, but it's just so expensive here.
Well, instead of like going full organic, what I do is.
Do you do the dirty dozen?
What's that noise? Okay, it's maybe my headphones. Let's just say that I look at the vegetables. Like if the carrots is $1.99, the regular one, and the organic is like $3, well, I'm gonna go for the regular one. But if the carrots are $1.99 and the organic are $2.29, I'm gonna go for the organic.
Organic, yeah.
So, and when I don't buy the organic, I try to find something that's Canadian.
Yes, me too. That's what yep.
So it's the lesser evil.
Yep. Yeah. And I try to look for non-GMO. Yeah. If it's not organic, at least if it's, non-GMO. Yeah. I like to look for like Ontario, especially like, because this is where we are. So it's like, okay, well, the rate, here. So
I am looking into substitutes for flours and sugar now. Healthier choices anyways, like the zucchini, squash flour, pumpkin, and sweet potatoes. I saw that. I saw someone do flour with zucchini.
I want to learn that.
Plus, doing the hunting, fishing, and foraging helps money go other places. True.
Yeah.
Hello, Alana.
Hi.
Hello, Belinda and Chuck. Time to start clipping coupons like we don't have coupons in Canada.
You asked me if there's a difference between where I grew. Yes, because where I grew up, every Sunday, my mother and father had those coupons that they would clip, and you'd have days where your coupon was worth twice as much as what was on it. So if it was 25 cents, it would actually be 50 cents off, double coupon day. Like, we don't have coupons. I was so shell-shocked when I moved here, and I'm like, where's the coupons in the paper?
We do have coupons, coupons.ca, and when you buy online, like you can search, let's just say you're buying at a specific site, like not Amazon or anything, like a specific site, you go on Google and you write that like coupons for this store, Canada. Okay, and sometimes you can get 10% off, 15% off, or first purchase 10% off of your order. The coupons are there. You just need to be like Mr. Google has to be your friend.
Yes.
But usually, yes?
I was going to say there's an app. I don't remember the name. There's an app you can download. And
Groupon?
No, that's not the one.
There used to be
it's an extension.
Save.ca.
I know Groupon, you could buy a lot of things. Like you would buy services in bulk and it would be cheaper. But I can't remember the other app.
But it's an app extension on your internet browser. And if you're ever looking for, like, I don't know, you want to buy shoes, for example, you want to order shoes online, you go in there, you write the kind of shoes you want, and it's going to give you the best cost that you can find online with if there's any, gift code or whatever. It's going to give you all that information also. Like,
Really?
it
I
might
didn't
be interesting. I need to find the name. I don't quite remember. It'd be interesting to see if it would work with seeds and stuff like that. You know, if
Yeah.
you could get like those.
It would be interesting. If you do find it, let me know. Yes, it is what I do for the veggies. At least I can't buy organic cheese. It does not make sense for the price, but yeah, organic. Well, Marilyn, you can maybe, I know, I think you work, but you can maybe look into making your own fresh cheese with organic milk. It would not like mozzarella in it's called it's like fresh cheese. It is a skill to learn because
That's one
organic
of the
cheese
ones
is
on my list.
yeah, it's super expensive.
Yes, it
Uh,
is.
yes.
Luckily, we
Uh,
I will say that we're lucky we have a local cheese factory here, so we can buy our. It's still more expensive than it used to be. It's not organic, but at least it's all local, and they use like local farms for their milk and everything. So
oh, at
I
least you
found.
have something local. Oh, you found it? It's,
Yeah, it's called honey.
honey.
honey, well, that'd be
Honey.
Honey,
easy
like
to
It's an
remember.
written.
extension.
It's the same thing as the
Show
food,
you, but
honey.
yeah,
Cool.
miel, honey. It's
Okay.
an extension, and it says that you can, honey saves you money, but at what cost? And what I have here is actually an article talking about it and says that it's safe, basically.
Okay.
Um, my next question. We've answered that in many ways. How do you prepare? What do you feel is important to stock up on, and why?
Okay, I'll go. It's I think if anything, the last 2 years has taught us why it's so important, right?
Yes, yes, true.
And especially like I said, in our case, if we go into the store and the thing that our son lives on is not there, oh no, what are we going to do? So I think it's important because especially if there's certain things you like that you really, really like, and that's what you eat, then, that's important because it might not be there the next time you go or the next time you go or the next time you go. So yeah, I don't know what I will just, for example, when the toilet paper craze was happening 2 years ago, remember that?
Oh my God.
we were watching it going, we're okay. We actually gave away toilet paper to some neighbors because, and it's not because we hoarded. It's just because every time we went, I'd grab another package, right?
God,
Just,
I told my
over a
husband
year.
when that toilet paper frenzy was going on, I'm like,
We could have probably
like,
traded it for something.
yeah, like I squared and I said dot dot dot. Use okay. You don't need toilet paper. Okay, I know that it is better to use
Yes.
toilet paper. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't enjoy my toilet paper, but if all hell breaks loose and there's no more toilet paper, there's much worse things that you will need first.
Yes.
Toilet paper. Like you can use.
Pretty handy though.
No, I'm not saying it's not handy, but I'm saying if you have the choice of buying a pack of toilet paper or flour, I'm going to go buy my flour first. I'm going to say dot, 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 the toilet paper because
like I said, it's just one of those things when we go, my husband's like, do we need toilet paper? I'm like, is that even a question? We buy it. Like whether we need it or not. And now we're to the point where we haven't been buying it the last couple of times because now I've run out of room. Like it's like, okay, I can't take this anymore. We got to get through half of this first. So I'll just keep an eye on it. And next time in the next maybe 2 months, we'll have to. But yeah, we weren't losing our minds like everybody else was because we were
it's
good.
good to do, especially when it's on sale.
Yes.
Well, we buy the Costco ones. Like
we do too.
The Costco, the price wise, even if it's not on special, it's cheaper.
Yep. And it's safe for septic, which we're on a septic here. So we have to think of that too. So
like every 2-3 times we go at Costco, we don't even think about it. We just like bring one in and it maybe last 3-4 months, depending how my little one decides how to use the toilet paper. Because my youngest now is there's no more diapers, so you know the first stages of learning how to go to potty.
Yes.
It's like a cat. He, instead of using like this much, he uses like this much. So
and I mean, I'm going to say, like, we stock up on batteries. We always have a good supply of the different sizes that we use the most of, you know, AA, AAA. Our son's foods, we make sure we have a good stock of them. Vinegar, plain vinegar, because I make my own cleaning products. So I always have a couple big, I get it from Costco. So I always have a couple of big jugs unopened, and usually I have 1 or 2 opened because I make my own cleaners and stuff. And I'm going to say now too, probably canning supplies. If you need vinegars for canning, if you need sugars for canning.
Yeah, I started planning too.
Yeah, I've started thinking about that because, one, it's probably going to be a lot cheaper in or a lot more expensive in 3 months than it is right now. So, and everybody in the world has discovered canning during the pandemic, which is wonderful. I'm glad there's more people out there, but I've been doing it for over 20 years. It's not a fad for me. And darn it, it's frustrating when you can't find lids.
Last year, my husband really loved Hate Me. I sent him all over town. I was going along on Walmart. Okay, Walmart Laval. That's like 45 minutes away from our work. Not from our house, from his work. He had to go north 45 minutes. I sent him to buy 15 cases of pints. And if there was lids, to buy lids. He's like, I really have to love you to go to Laval 45 minutes. Like, so he would have to go to work that day, finish work, drop off his colleague, 45 minutes, go to Laval, 45 minutes, come back, and then 45 minutes to get to our house.
Yep.
Because there was nothing.
No, and it's just, that's another thing. Like when we go out, I grab a box of them because the price for the wide mouth, the wide mouth lids,
they're close to $5 a box.
They're almost $6 here now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I thought, well, if I buy one when we go out, it won't seem as bad as buying 10 packages. And our Dollarama has the regular size lids for $2.50 a package.
Yeah, I have to go.
So I buy 2 every time I go, and my husband's like, "Do you really need more lids?" And I just like, "Do you know me at all?"
Yeah, I saw that Annie from Mama Homemade shared that it was $2.50. So this week I'm gonna go raid my dollar.
I haven't seen that. If I do go and see it, I'm gonna buy it for sure. But it's good quality.
It's Bernadine.
Okay.
Now they do have, which is Ball, by the way. It's just Ball makes Bernadine for Canada. I never knew that. I just found that out. But they do have jars with lids and rings at the dollar store that say canning on them, but I'm really nervous to use them because they're not
I saw horror stories about the
the glass just doesn't feel the same. I don't know. When you pick them up, they just feel different to me. So I definitely say stock up on if you know you're going to be canning garden stuff. I ordered like grow lights and things in January, and I went on last night just to see. They've gone up in price since I bought them in January.
I bought mine on January 1st, and the same item is close to $50, like more expensive.
Yep. So I'd say, and we've been buying the garden fabric, the black garden fabric.
The woven cover.
Yes. We've been buying that to make sure we have a good amount for what we need this year. Because again, I think by the time you see it in May and June, it's going to be a lot more if you can find it. What else? Animal feed. So we have chickens. We have 4 right now, and we're getting 4 more next month. We have probably at least a 3-month supply right now, I'd say, for chicken feed, maybe a little bit more. We've heard, because we feed ours organic chicken feed. My husband says the chickens eat better than we do. But we've heard the prices on that are going to go up. and
Yeah.
we haven't seen it yet. We bought one more bag yesterday. It was still the same price that we've been paying. But even she said, oh, it's probably not a bad idea to be getting this now. And I'm like, oh no. So, and we just bought the metal garbage cans from Home Depot to keep them in so mice and stuff can't get in them.
Yeah, that's my problem. I can't stock up too much on my feed because I only have 2 canisters.
Like yeah, I mean, that's how we've got the big 2, and it's a little more than a 3-month supply. We figured it out, and it's a little bit more, so we're good. But then again, we're adding 4 more chickens next month, so that's 4 more chickens eating that feed. So yeah, it lasts us 3 months right now with 4 chickens, but is it going to last us 3 months with 8 chickens? No.
I think a chicken eats 1/3 of a pound a day.
Yeah, so I mean, it will do us
a third or a quarter. I can't remember.
I can't remember. I thought it was a quarter, but. Yeah, but so I mean, those are the things that we're thinking about.
I'm gonna catch up on the comments and then I'll let Remi answer. I eat too much of that. I read that. Cheese. I heard of honey. She wonders if it's legit.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know about it, and then I started reading on it, and it is.
I go straight to the discount rack in the produce section. I will pick up what looks good and can it from my pantry, use it for soups, citrus especially. I make so much from that.
Me too.
And it rhymes too. True.
I just did a whole whack of lemons last week here. I juiced a whole bunch to have for the summer, and I used all the carcasses into my vinegar.
Sorry, I laugh because I read Annie's comment. She says she stocks up on flour, sugar, and chocolate chip.
The essentials. You got to have those.
The inside, yeah, true. I guess TP is toilet paper.
Yeah.
So that's where all the toilet paper went. Yes.
Lynn had it all.
Lynn had it all. We don't have Costco here near us. It's maybe 3 hours away.
We won't be going as often because it's an hour drive for us, and with the gas right now, there's no. Even with the deals and buying in bulk, we might do the order again because I have ordered it online, and as long as it's $75, it's free shipping.
Okay, this was.
Well, with Costco, it's easy to reach.
Yeah, it's really easy to spend $75, I actually save money because then I don't get sucked into seeing all the other things in the darn store, right?
You can't go in there and not spend a whole bunch of $100,
especially when they have the gardening stuff out.
Oh boy, yeah, that would be scary for me.
Mama Homemade says I pick up the toilet paper for my little ones and I put them in a basket like they waste. Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
If I had the time, I would do it. Hello, Serge. I stock up lots of lids and jars, and I buy my meat when on sale. I order my lids from Lehman in Ohio. We don't have that in Canada.
I wish. I've tried to source for us, and there's just the shipping kills you.
Yeah, the shipping will probably cost you as much as the lids.
Twice as much.
How much do you reuse lids? That's a controversial question. I only use my lids once.
Me too. My grandmother used them over and over again, but I
know people do. I know people do. And now there is an actual lid that you can use. It's certified. You can use over and over and over and over again, but they're a bit more expensive.
I've never seen Tattlers.
It's something like that.
I've never seen them. I'm sure if I go online, I could find them, but I've never seen them in stores or anything.
Let's just say this year, I'm more focused on reimbursing our debts. But when the budget will be a little bit more loose, I am thinking of investing a little bit every year on those lids because you never will buy lids. You would always reuse the same.
Yeah.
And I find that it's like green wise, it's better. During the jar and lid shortage, we bought them every time we saw them in the store. Now we have a good stock stored up, and in a pinch, you can reuse lids if they're undamaged.
I would reuse lids if there was something for maybe shorter term. I wouldn't throw them away, but I mean, I have those little, I don't know how you call them, the little tiny ones there.
Quarter pints.
You can put yogurt in that and send it to school for the kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
One,
yes.
Small
Oh,
lid.
once
yes.
I mean, it can be
pan.
reused a couple of times like that, but maybe not for canning. I'm new to canning, so
Okay, well, if you follow the USDA guidelines to the book as a Bible, they say that the
Mhm.
lids are only to be used once. If you're a rebel canner, you can reuse them, but it's like it's your choice. And if you lose them, if they pop open, you lose your investment and all your time and all your produce. So I feel that reusing lids is a too high of a risk for everything that I'm
I
doing.
will
But
say, I mean, I've looked at some of them and thought, my gosh, like you think you could I read? Because they do look like they're, my even husband will say, this looks like you didn't even use it. And
yeah,
I'm like, no, but I'm like you, and I'm just so nervous to,
yeah.
I mean, my
Well,
grandmother did it for 30, 40 years, and we all survived off everything she can.
yeah.
So,
I just don't like the risk.
yeah.
It's the too high of a risk. But I do reuse them. Like when I send my child to
Yes.
school with mason jars, I use or
Storage. Yeah, I'll use them as
storage,
storage.
or
Yeah.
when I want to store dry goods, my spices, I reuse them that way. And you can do fun crafts with it.
Yes.
it's a big risk if you like, let's say you can something and you wait, and like in 9 months you open it and then you realize it's not good. You have to waste some food. You have to get rid of it.
Yeah.
All
But
that
then
work.
again, if you open the jar and it smells fine, usually because it is.
Well, it all depends. It depends how you open your jar. Me, the way that it's so hard to open my jars, I have to kink it to open it.
Me too.
So as soon as you kink it, it's no good. So I know the way that I use my jars and I try to open them. I can't
Just
reuse,
use
but
my nails.
yeah,
I use a can opener, and sometimes I have to push so hard it punctures it.
yeah.
Right? So
Probably not good anymore then.
nope.
But like if you're counting something and you know that you'll be using it within the week, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't be able to reuse a lid. But past 7 days, I prefer using a brand new lid. But that's preference.
Yeah.
Has anyone used plastic lids with rubber rings? Plastic
Are you
lids?
talking about the Tattlers, maybe the reusable ones? Because they're like a plastic.
I think so. I think that the description she's explaining, and that sounds like it.
I haven't used them only because I've never found them. I've never.
I would love to reuse those lids. I know you can boil them and make them soft again, but like it's always that. But what if?
Yeah.
What if? That's what drives me mad.
I guess we'll have to try and see.
Yeah, it's up to you. As a canner, you read the Bible, you read the instructions, but then you're home, you're in your house.
Maybe I'll try it with water, canned water, because then that's not such a big deal, and see just how well they seal.
True.
Like reusing, yeah.
I use the used lids mostly for vacuum sealing herbs and such, but in a pinch, you could boil them and reuse them, but be picky. I don't use damaged ones. Yeah, it would. Yeah, it could be something bad. They are reusable. It's like expiry dates. The produce companies can only guarantee them for the first time because they could get damaged when used.
Good to know.
Yeah. Ren's Homestead, hello and welcome.
Hi.
I am in Ontario. It ends up being cheaper for lemons lins with the American.
Write that down.
Wait. She's saying it ends up being cheaper for lemon lids. Even with the dollar exchange plus the shipping? Seriously?
I'm totally writing that down. Alana, I hope I'm saying your name right. Yeah, because I'm gonna check that because I've been looking.
Hold on. Okay, I don't have a pen, so I'm gonna take a picture.
They're gonna get orders for thousands of lids this week, and they're gonna be like, "What is going on?"
Well, it's good. It's good money. They can't complain.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for that. Lehman's lids. Yeah.
Angie, it's up to you. If you want to reuse your lids and you feel confident reusing your
lids,
it's your decision in the end.
Even though I've been water bath canning for a long time, I'm still nervous, right? Because I'm always worried about.
I would do the same. If I felt comfortable canning reused lids, I would not reuse them for pressure canning. I would only use them for water bath canning if I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Andrew's already looking.
Got a lot of traffic today.
Yep.
Yeah, the USDA also says you can milk,
Yeah,
yet you
you
can literally buy canned milk. Okay, that's a gray zone,
yeah.
but it's because they cannot without any. It's a science thing, like without any doubt. If
And
there's
they've never tested it probably to
if
see,
if
right?
it's not tested or it's too high of a risk,
Yeah.
well then they don't want to be sued after.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
I reuse my lids sometimes for water canning, never when I pressure can, but I keep my old lids for dehydration. I do the
Yes.
same. I understand using extreme caution when reusing them. I would only do it in a pinch. I like that, in a pinch.
I was thinking the same thing.
Lehman's site is going to crash. Okay, Remi, your turn to answer the question. How do you prepare? What do you feel is important to stock up on and why?
If you would have asked me that question 10 years ago, the answer would have been totally different. I used to, no offense anyone, I used to think the people doing that were somewhat crazy, or I don't know. Now it's not about, it's not because I believe that something's bad gonna happen. It's not because I believe that, it's gonna be the end of the world tomorrow. It's just, you never know what can happen. The truck drivers can go on strike. There might be a snowstorm where you don't have any electricity for 2 weeks. We've seen that happen. For that 2 weeks period, you need to be ready and know what to do. If you don't have any food at all, or if you don't have any different ways to preserve your food, then you could be in big trouble. Right now, the only solutions I have for preserving food, I didn't start canning yet. Well, that's not true. I do a little bit of canning. I'll do like raspberry and strawberry jam. Well, my girlfriend will, and it's something that we can put in the fridge. I did some applesauce last year, but those are the basics. I really want to learn to can even more, and that's my one of my objectives for the summer for this year. I dehydrate a lot of food. You can use dehydrated onion as a spice to put on your meat.
Yep.
Uh, the other way I have is to blanch and freeze food. There's always something that you cannot find all year round. My girlfriend loves fiddleheads. That's probably her favorite thing to eat. But it's only available for like 2 weeks in the spring. So you're not going to find fiddleheads at this time of year. But by preserving, we were able to eat some for supper today.
Right. Yeah.
We'll go and pick up for like last year. I had about 80 pounds of fiddleheads. I'm hoping to do even better this year because I have to give a little bit of competition to Ecocentric there in the shed wars. I want to go and grab as much as I can. Um, we eat it here. I had 80 pounds. I made some packs of about a pound each, and we eat fiddleheads about once or twice a week, depending on if we're alone or not. The kids don't like it, but we do, and I think it's important to be able to preserve the food for that reason also. And like I said, it's not necessarily that I think that the end of the world is coming. It's just that you never know what can happen. My house could burn tomorrow morning, and well, then the food would be gone. But you still need to be prepared if anything happens. If you're not stuck and you're not like completely, in the street. If I have a garden, at least for the summer, I'm not stuck eating, my parents' freezer for a while. Like it's and since I started doing this, since I started, growing my own garden and hunting, fishing, and preserving my food, um, for the first time, the last 2 years, for the first time since we have kids, we never had to go to my parents' house once to ask them for food. And I mean, it's something that we've had to do before. Mom, look, my freezer's empty. We need milk. We need bread. Can I go and borrow $20 until next week? And you know, my mom being my mom, she'll say yes and come in my freezer, grab some stuff. I made some homemade bread. I made this. I made that. You know, I purchased some fish on sale. Come and get some. I didn't have to do that in the last 2 years. And we were just talking about how, you know, food is more expensive. It's more expensive now than it was 2 years ago, but it was more expensive 2 years ago than it was 10 years ago. And yet I didn't go at my parents' place to get some more food.
Yep.
So it means that preserving really helped me, you know, in that way. I have 2 freezers and 2 fridge, and they're full of food. So we're not stuck regardless what happens. I mean, you could lose your job tomorrow morning. By the time that, you know, um, the EI or whatever comes back in, uh, you're stuck with whatever you have left. So you need to stock up. You need to get ready, and you know, you never know what can happen.
There's a question for you. How do you cook your fiddleheads so they aren't bitter?
Um, I think you have to blanch them. We do it at least twice. We will blanch them for like at least 5 minutes. Put it in cold water. Put it back. Give it a good rinse, and then put it back in cold water. And then I freeze them. I'll put them in my vacuum sealer and freeze them. And then when it comes times to cook them, either I boil them again, or I will fry it in a pan with butter. Just put a little tiny bit of salt and butter. It should be fine. I mean, I don't have a bitter taste. I've never tasted that, so I guess the way I'm doing it is probably a good way to do it. I don't know if that's what you do, but in lasagna.
Sorry, I wasn't looking. I was reading the comment of the lasagna, and I saw that. I was like, what?
I always loved fiddleheads with apple cider vinegar. That's how my dad always used to make them. Oh my gosh, I haven't had them, and I can't remember how long it's been. I haven't seen fiddleheads.
Okay, so Angie, you're saying that it's 240 Canadian with shipping.
It makes it 33 cents and lid. And if you buy the ones that I've been buying right now, it's 47 cents a lid. So as expensive as that sounds, it's actually cheaper to buy them through Lehman's.
Well, it becomes $4 a box. So the dollar store is still cheaper.
Oh yeah, for that size. I'm thinking of the larger ones. Oh, so she's probably looking. Yeah, no. So it's still cheaper to buy for me to buy them. Yeah, at the dollar store. I hope they keep getting them in.
I'm gonna go check it out on the website to see, but it is no, that's not it.
Yeah, price has gone up.
Yeah, it's gone up.
Figures $26 a lid. On Amazon, they're 47 cents a lid.
Yeah.
I just looked at Lehman's website, and the price for the lids has gone up this year. I didn't need any since I stocked up last year. I might be worth. It's just in order in bulk. In cases of shortage. Oh God, I don't want to even think about it. Because that's not for me. So you guys talked about different ways. One of the questions I was asking is, how do you preserve food? So you guys told us canning, pressure canning, water bath canning. You said freezing and dehydrating.
Yep.
Is there another way that you guys preserve food? I don't other ways than that. So is there
you can always put I know like in some type of squash you can just simply put it in a dark, cool place and they'll last long enough.
Yeah, some squashes last.
Yeah, so that would be the fifth, like a sort of a cold storage.
Yeah, cold room.
Root
cellar.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
I don't do a lot of dehydrating. That's something I'm hoping to do this year. I have an old dehydrator. You just plug it in and push the button. It doesn't have I'm hoping to up my dehydrating game and get one where I can set the temperature. So I'd love, it's on my wish list. It's going to be a while away, but I'd love to get a freeze dryer and do freeze drying versus
if I can find the website and if they do that for Canadians, layaway, that's what I was looking for.
Yep, they offer layaway.
But is it for United States only or Canada?
If you go to Harvest Right Canadian site, they have a Canadian site. It is on there too.
I think I'm gonna finish paying off everything, and I think I'm gonna look into.
We've been saving. We're getting a new roof in the next 2 months. So that's where all our money went for saving. And actually, we were ready. We were ready last year for the roof. We couldn't get a roofer. Could
God.
not get a roofer last year. So we had to go on his list for this year, last summer. So we actually just talked to him today, and he says we're first on the list as soon as the weather's good. So yay! We're not. It's not like terrible, but I'll just be happy when it's over. So now that we're done saving for that. And then my son got braces, so I was like, okay, I'm never getting a freeze dryer as long as these.
There's always something.
Well, that's why I love that concept. Like, if there's not a time frame that you can do it, let's just say that it takes 9 months, 12 months for me to
2
pay
years.
it. Well, not maybe 2 years. Once
But yeah,
my car payment is just done, and then we have another payment that's being done in 6 months, so I can just like put half of that in. If it takes 2 years or a year to get it, well, at one point I will get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it too, because I watch them and I see all the stuff they're making, and I'm like, and just the thought of the Mylar bags and stuff take up so much less space.
Yes,
right, than jars and stuff. And
Mama Homemade Annie says she wants a freeze dryer too. So if you would live closer, Annie, we could share one.
Yeah, go half on somebody. They do say for our family, like what we would want to do, we probably would have to look at the medium size, because the small is, I think it's only like 3 trays, and the medium you get 4 trays. And it's not a whole lot difference in price from small to medium. I was really surprised. It's not, but it's around, I think, 4,000 Canadian. Last time I kind of went on and was just wishing.
Oh, I forgot to say one thing, smoking. This year, I want to convince the hubby to build a DIY smoker.
I have one. That's what I was going to say. I have one here. I haven't mastered it yet. I smoked a couple of things. I did my own bacon 2 years ago, and I wanted to reply to Ren's Homestead. He said, I'll have to do a video on locating, identifying the fiddleheads. I have a video from last year. It's not really complete, maybe. I give a couple of tips, but it's not like I wouldn't, go totally on that to be safe. I will do another one this year. I'm hoping to go again, and because of shed wars, I'll have to go into details a little bit more. So I will have one.
I understand you, Annie. Like, you have like so many kids and so much.
We need a big one, yeah.
The big one. We just smoke our pork belly.
You can smoke fish also. I know someone that used to do mackerel, and it's delicious.
I would love to smoke fish, to experiment it, like fresh smoked fish. It must be good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we actually go in many of my questions, so I'm just try to see if one we did not answer. What skills do you think is important to learn, and why?
Cooking. Like, if you don't know how to cook, some kind of basic.
You mean cooking from scratch?
Yeah, if you're gonna do all that, make sure at least have a few skills, and you can learn. There's so many videos out there now for people that don't know how to cook or not sure what they're doing. I would definitely say that's probably the first main one. And I definitely say canning, even if it's just water bath canning, because I know pressure canning. I'm fairly new to pressure canning, just started in January, and but water bath canning is a little less scary, and you can preserve so much, like with the water bath canning. You don't have to do the pressure canning.
And what about you, Remi?
Can you repeat the question again? I'm kind of lost in my thoughts right now. I'm looking at the comments and
I sidetracked all the time to the comments. What skills do you think are important to learn, and why?
I'll go maybe a little different than you. It's important to be able to preserve your food. It's important to be able to grow your food. I think if everything really went sideways, it'd be important to be able to fish. It'd be important to be able to hunt, because it's not only what you can grow, it's not only the animals, because at some point, if you're not ready yet and you don't have any farmed animals, you won't be able to get your proteins that you need, to go maybe a few extra weeks or a few extra months. Um, it's not that hard to hunt really or to fish, but I think you need some basics because you could always just get lost in the woods for some reason, and it's also important to be able to find some food. So foraging is also another thing that we bring to the list. They might not be as important as growing your own vegetables and farming and those things, but I think it's the variety of everything. The more things you can do, the more things you can have. You don't necessarily need to be the best at something, but try to be good at a little bit of everything. I feel confident if there was a zombie apocalypse tomorrow, like I've been watching Walking Dead, I feel like I could survive, like it's that not that state of mind that you need to have, but keep that in mind that something could happen and you never know what it is. Um, you go for a drive in the woods, you get stuck, you need to find some food for at least a day or two. What do? You need to be able to defend yourself. You need to be able to build a shelter. You need to be able to. So, building is also important. If something happens, you don't know what your house is going to look like. You might lose your house. You might have to defend your property. You might have to defend your freezer. You never know. So, at some point, you need to be able to do a little bit of everything. But, that's just my opinion on it.
I don't think I can do it all. So I would say as a family, I would divide the skills that is required for us to be prepared. I obviously will do the cooking, the baking in the garden. I find that the skills that are important are because of scratch cooking, you save a lot of money. So let's just say that you make a loaf of bread, it's going to be cheaper and healthier than what you buy at the store. So I started prepping that way because I needed to save money. But at one point, you kind of realize that you really seriously can't do it all because you only have two hands, one head. And like if you get sick, well, then you can't cook, you can't take care of the garden, you can't defend yourself, blah, 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 blah. So on and so forth. So I would say build a community, learn how to build a community so that you can make a whole and to be prepared. So I'm hoping that as a family, we can do that. My kids are still young, but my husband is the one that harvests our animals. So I know if ever anything hits the fan, I would be able to garden, I would be able to cook, and he would be able to harvest the animals. The only thing now is I don't know how to either grow or harvest wheat because we have
I know. A lot of flour in this house.
Yes, I just started my sourdough adventure, and yesterday I prepared a bread, I prepared bagels, and then I fed my starter, and I forgot to put it in the fridge. And it tripled within the night. So I had to bake another recipe this morning. And I was like, I'm not going to get caught with my pants down a second time. So I just took my sourdough and put it in the fridge because like it is so active within 2 to 3 hours, it doubles. So
that's crazy.
That's
a healthy sourdough starter.
Yeah, and it's brand new. I made it, put it in the fridge for many, many months, took it out, revived it, maybe cooked a little bit with it, put it back in the fridge, and it's been there for, I'm not going to say how many months because I'm probably going to get slapped on the hands, but it took me 7 days to revive it, and since then it's been super active and super healthy. So that's the skills I think, the top 5 are hard to say, but like Remi said, we need to learn many, many things to be prepared. I'm going to read the comments. There is a little joke here for you. If I end up eating pine cones thinking Miss Fiddlehead, I'll blame you on your info.
Yeah, that's why I told him to wait until my next video.
Yes, I need desperately to learn to cook from scratch like Wendy used to. Seriously, Tracy? It's not hard. You just YouTube. Go on YouTube and write. Let's just say you want to make, I don't know, chicken pot pie. How to make chicken pot pie, and you're gonna learn it.
just go on YouTube and write Back to Basics
No,
Homestead and
no.
Bucket List Homestead, and you'll find some
I
interesting
don't
stuff.
have that many how-to baking because my kids are always around me when I bake, and it would be a complete nightmare disaster to edit. But I am planning on like maybe cooking in the morning when the kids are either outside or occupied, so I can show my basic recipes, because like when I started all this, I did not have my binder, I did not have my recipes. So if I can help people that are getting started to figure out what recipe works for them, it would be fun.
I just tried a new bread recipe today.
With sourdough?
No, honestly, our daughter's the only one who likes sourdough in the house, so it's not something I make. I'm not a fan of it.
Okay, cooking from scratch without that, growing things that you need cooking, hunting, fishing would do no good. So that's why I say it's as a whole. Basic survival skills and survival thinking are critical. Then you can apply that knowledge to whatever comes up. That's not for me. That's smart, Annie, to learn to build a community. You can buy wheat berries, store them in a mailer or 5-gallon buckets, and grind your flour yourself. The berries last longer than ground flour. Yes, but I do not enjoy that much whole wheat flour. So buying my wheat berries, what I would have as an end product would be whole wheat.
And I've looked at buying the wheat berries, and the only place I've been able to find them for us is on Amazon.
You don't have a mill close by?
No, and I will say that's one thing I wish we had here in Canada is that Azure standard that they have in the States.
I have
where
2 mills near my house.
Wow.
I have 2 mills. One is certified organic, and the other is certified GMO free, and the wheat comes from my village.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And if I understood correctly, my husband said some of the bakery, like Première Moisson, uses their flour. If it's true, I don't know, but it's in my village. Like I could actually get in my car, go there, and be back in within 10 minutes. But
is it cheaper than like flour you're going to be buying from the grocery store, or?
Well, they're going to put their price up, and they were closed to public for 2 years because of the COVID restrictions. But before the COVID, it was $20 for 20 kilos.
Jeez, that's pretty good.
That was good. And the certified EcoSerre certified organic, which is 25 minutes away from my house, is $40 for 20 kilos, but it's certified organic.
That's good though for certified organic. So
yeah, so if I'm in a crunch, I would be able to get some here. It's not organic because there are farms next to them.
Yeah,
that are not certified organic, so therefore they cannot get the certification, but they don't apply anything on the wheat berries.
Oh well, yeah. So,
but they can only say that they're certified GMO free. So if I'm in a crunch and I can't afford a $40 bag, $20 bag. Well, it's probably going to be close to 30 now because of all the prices going up. But even though it goes up to 30, it's still a good deal.
Yeah, I'll have to say too, when you're talking about the community, Annie, I think one of the things that I found that I'm so happy I found my people on YouTube is we have found it can be a little bit lonely because none of our families, like my in-laws, don't even farm anymore. They got to the age where it was, and none of the kids live anywhere, for the most part. I have one sister-in-law who lives close, but there was no one really to help them as much anymore. So we're the only ones doing this. And I'm sure there's some of my family who think we're absolutely crazy. Like, what are they doing? It's not 1860. I can just hear some family members now. So it can be a bit lonely. So to find a community of people who get just as excited when those tomatoes start coming as you do. And who, are so happy about getting hands dirty. Like I had dirt manicure all weekend from planting seedlings. And I was like, oh, and no matter how many times you scrub, right, it doesn't come out. And you're like, but that's okay, because I know what that means.
Yep.
Yeah, that it helps mentally. I think, to have other people to talk to. And I've learned so much. I feel like my brain's going to explode some days because I get overloaded with so much information, but it's, you're never that far away from someone. You go on and you look at one of their videos and you're like, that's what I need to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
It was actually one of the questions I was going to ask. Do you feel community makes it easier to do what we do?
yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It is easier. If I go back when I started and I had no one and everyone thought I was bunkers, I would say I started YouTube very seriously a year ago, and even though I'm as exhausted at the end of my season, I feel that this year has made so much of a difference to build a community. So let's just say that you want to preserve your own feed. You don't have to become a YouTuber to create a community, but you can be part of a community of a YouTuber and create friends, meet new people. Even on Facebook, you can create so many connections. By seat swaps, you can create connections there. And I feel that with a community, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, it gives you someone to talk to whenever you're not sure, or like I keep saying,
Yeah.
I'm one person that needs to be shown or thought in person, but sometimes that's not possible. So at least if I have someone I can talk to that has the same passion as me, it's easier for sure. Like, I mean, my girlfriend doesn't really like gardening, so if when we wake up in the morning, it's not the first thing we're going to talk about. So I kind of, I find someone else to talk to about that stuff.
I know.
We talk about it, and then I can get on with my day and talk with my girlfriend about something else. It's just
So
Yeah.
you talk to similar-minded people that are bunkers.
exactly.
Yes. No, I get that too, Remi, because I mean, my husband's wonderful and he's like a lot of the muscle, I call it, like, when lugging things around and things. And he certainly loves all the food that comes out of the garden. But I'm sure he's tired of hearing me say, oh, look what's sprouting. And, I'm sure he's getting sick of
And when you're
He's probably
passionate about something, you could talk about it all day. Like I could sit here, start chatting or start talking to you guys and just keep it going for the
Yeah.
rest of the day, and I would never get tired of it.
It's true. We answered that. We answered that.
And I want people to know too that one of the ways you can stockpile, because not many of us, not many people I know don't have $3,000 just to go out and buy $3,000 worth of food and stockpile it. I know we certainly couldn't do it. But one of the things is when you go out, make sure you're buying what you eat. If you don't like tuna fish, do not buy 12 cans of tuna fish.
No,
just don't do that. If you're going to go buy, if you like tuna fish and you see it, and especially if it's on sale and you're only going to buy 2 cans, try and buy 3 or 4 and put that 3 and 4th can in your stockpile and just keep the 2 you were going to buy at least this week. I also find meal planning helps. If I meal plan, then I know what I'm not always great at it. I will say I participated in a pantry challenge in January. So it forced me to do a meal plan for the whole month of January. And it worked great. And I did it for February too. And then I've gotten really lazy this month and not done it. But that helps you realize, what are we eating? What are we eating a lot, all the time? Because, if you're a typical family like us, you usually get the same rotation in the month of certain meals that everybody likes and stuff. So meal plan, and then you'll know, okay, this is what we like to eat. This is what I should be looking for and shop sales. Man, when they have sales on, like, try and stock up when they have the sales. And I think the other thing too is when people think homestead, like, yeah, we have chickens, but we don't have a cow. We don't raise a pig. We're not in the position to do that. It's a little bit more, I feel that's a little bit more of our skill set than I'm willing to tackle. But I've branched out and found a farmer who literally is a 5-minute drive from us, and they're lovely people. And we get our beef from them. And then through them, they have friends who do pigs. And we were able to get a pig order through them. And it not only is amazing quality, but we're also helping support our neighbors, right, who live out here. So don't think I mean, if you can raise pig and a cow and all that, like I applaud you, and I'm a little envious because, man, the milk we go through alone, I wouldn't mind having a milk cow right now.
Yeah, I think I could hook it
Me
up straight
too.
in my veins.
Yep. I would actually say, like things to look at is, like you said, look at what you eat. Don't buy stuff that you don't normally
No.
eat. And there's also the importance of storing, how to store your food. So if your house is, like example, there is a perfect room in my house. It's right next to my kitchen, but I cannot store food there because I have a southeast exposure, and in the summer that room gets super, super, super hot. And if I store food there, it's going to go bad. So there's also the skills of learning how to put your food aside for a longer period of time. So it's okay to store food for like a couple of months. But if you want to do this on the long run, the cold room, there's a little bit of research to be done so that your investment is actually a positive one, not a oopsies, you found stuff that's not supposed to be in there. I was looking for one of the questions that we did not ask, but
I will say, when we lived in military housing and I would can and stuff, I don't know if you've ever been in them, but they have no storage in those houses. They were built in the 50s and people didn't have as much appliances. And I would store things in closets, under beds. I make a joke, my daughter's like, Mom, we're all out of blueberry jam. Oh, I don't know. Did you check under the bed? Is it all gone from under there too?
When we arrived here, storage was the same thing. My canning supplies were all over the place. Now in my when I go down to my unfinished basement, we have a century-old home, so it's on rocks.
Mm-hmm.
When we would go down the basement, there was about 16 inches of space. That's like 3 canning jars back to back to back. And I told my husband, you're going to build shelves like for 3 canning jars to fit. And he's like, yeah, but we're only going to be left with 24 inch of passing. I'm like, I don't care. You're building that thing for 3 canning jars
too. Yeah.
So like when you go down the stairs, you have to be very careful because the canning jars are there. So when I open the door, all the jars are there. But what's good about it is because since my basement is not finished, it stays fresh and the humidity is controlled downstairs, so my food stays perfect and acclimated. And now he just built me shelves down the stairs, so like when you go down, all my counting is there, and then at the bottom of the stairs he built me more shelves. So he's like, you can put more jars there now. I'm like,
I think what I had to get out of too is, you get in your mind that, oh, I have to have a pantry. It has to be in this kind of, and I started realizing, like, no, we don't. So we have what we call our second living room. We're not sure what the other people ever used it for. Maybe a dining room. I put shelving in there and cubbies, and it may seem silly because we've got our rowing machine in there, and right beside the rowing machine is a whole bunch of stuff I've canned, stuff I've stockpiled. So I had to get out of the mindset of thinking, oh, it has to be this beautiful pantry with all the shelves. Like, nope, I'm pretty much, if I find a spot for shelving, my husband's building me some and I'm putting it there.
Well, you don't have to have like that gorgeous Pinterest dreamy pantry. You just need something that's functional and
exactly
in a controlled climate.
Yeah. And believe me, when you have all those jars lined up, it's beautiful.
Anywhere. The only thing I would say is if you store them, try to avoid direct sunlight.
Yes. Yeah.
You guys, it's magic hour at my house, so I'm going to read the comments and I'm going to see if I have more questions. You did we did some research and found out that New York, the only difference between animal use wheat berries and human use that animal isn't used. I'm not sure I understand this comment.
Some research and found out in New York the only difference between animal use wheat berries and human use is that animals' uses aren't inspected and can contain a little more foreign stuff. So I guess there's a difference between what you feed animal wheat berries and what we can eat.
Well, it's maybe because it was not. Anyways, I understand what it means, but it's wheat, so
yeah.
Community building could post a notice for trout at the post office for our SHTF community looking for people with canning or nunchuck skills.
Nunchucks made out of mason jars.
Yes, we should call ourselves a community of nunchuck canning skills.
Well, it'd be good to defend your pantry.
Yeah. Another way to preserve alcohol. Yes, I need to speak with Darren from Tor Haven Farm. This summer, I'm actually looking into getting my equipment to make my own mead and my own beer. So that would be my, like, I'm doing kefir, I'm doing sourdough, and my last fermenting thing I want to learn is alcohol. Yes, I was a long time non-YouTuber, becoming one.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
That's a good side of social media. The community here that I found with y'all has encouraged me and taught me a lot. That's so true.
Yep, absolutely.
The older I get, the more I love eccentric people who are passionate about what they're doing are always interesting to me. It's true. When someone is passionate, you can feel it. You can feel it, that it means something all the way down to his guts, his or hers.
Yep.
Well, just put a pine bark bread in oven. I'm curious about what.
Me too.
We're all gonna go on YouTube after this.
I've never heard tell of that.
I've never heard of that. The kids went crazy about licking the bowl. Okay.
It must be good if the kids approve.
Yeah, it must be good. I would love to have a source of milk, cow, goat, something, but I don't want the job to milk it with. Same thing.
It is adding on another chore, right?
Yeah, it sounds good. I just dried pine bark in the oven, then grind it into a powder flour. Cool.
That is cool.
Interesting. That'll be interesting to see.
Use portion to replace my flour in my blueberry bread. Nice. White pine or any particular pine. Okay, so now people are being interested in the pine. We will see how it tastes. This is Ponderosa pine. Its flesh is white. Bark is red. I wanted to see how it played out first. It's my first time. So next time it all goes, we'll make a video. I can help you for the beer, Annie. Awesome. Let's make beer this summer.
Right, I know where I'm going on my next vacation.
Yeah. I think you mentioned kefir. That's definitely one of the new skills I want to learn, because my kids actually, even our son, they actually like milk kefir. But man, organic milk kefir, it can be as much as $8 or $9 for a bottle like this big. Like in between, they're teenagers. Like they both can drink one of them. And
so all you have to do is buy 3.25 milk, whole milk.
Yep. Okay.
Organic, and you just need your grains of kefir.
Okay.
If you're interested, I'm receiving mine next week. I can tell you how I feel about it, and I can send you the link. Yeah. It's not dehydrated. It's live. So when you receive it, it's like if you're receiving something that's alive. You have to feed it right away, and you don't have to go through the process of reactivating it. It's already active. It's just maybe. So if it goes well, I'll let you know, and I'll send you the link.
Let me know. And I do say we want to add bees. We really want to add a couple of beehives this year. I've researched and researched and researched. I even took a bee class. I've reached out and I found a mentor. I feel like we're at the point now where I've researched so much. We just need to make the decision to either buy the stuff and do it or what, because I can't research.
Well, if you buy the stuff, you're not going to do anything with it until like I think it's 9 months after. So, but you need basic skills. And in Ontario, if my memory is correct, you guys have a good program for beekeeping.
Yes. Yep. We do. And I'm to the point where I'm thinking I might just work with a mentor this year, and maybe we'll do it next year.
I would love to buy 2 or 3 hives.
Yeah,
and put it. I can't put it in my backyard because they're too close. Like my backyard, the way it's designed, it would be too close from where I'm working. I would love to ask a farmer if I can put my 3 bees there and take them and have access.
There are programs in Ontario where you can do that, where people are reaching out and saying, "Hey, if you're not using that part of your property, could I put the hives there?"
Yeah, well, I was thinking, since I'm 15 minutes away from Ontario, I was thinking maybe not this year, but I know a lot of Ontario farmers are actually telling if you have bees, you can put them on our land.
Yeah.
So we might look into that next year.
And I think my other thing I want to try is water glassing eggs this
I
summer.
heard about that.
Yeah, I'm really, because I mean, well, like, because we had no problem with eggs all winter because our chickens were, this year's chickens. They're new, so they don't know they're not supposed to. They're supposed to slow down. And then we're going to get another 4 that are going to be this year's chickens. So we'll probably still going to have quite a few eggs, but eventually they're not going to be brand new chickens. So
Yeah,
I'm curious. I've seen a lot of YouTubers doing it and things, and it sure would be nice to still have our own eggs, even in
I had
January.
0 eggs this winter. 0, 0,
Oh,
0, 0. I buy the organic one at Costco. They're the only one we don't mind. But I have to buy 3 more chickens in the spring.
Yeah, we're actually thinking about getting a couple of dual chickens and maybe raising some for meat.
I can't do that because I can't have roosters here. Okay, so I'm going to read the comments and we'll see if I have to answer something. Don't worry, Tracy. I will not come on a live drunk. Don't worry. Don't worry. Maybe tipsy, but not drunk. No problem for it. I don't like beer. It's all my boyfriend. I want to do bees too. My neighbors will help as they have done it before. Nice. Bees are fun and very good for providing, but I haven't been able to overwinter them yet. There is a channel in Alaska that shows how they make their bees survive the winter.
Wow. We've had a lot of, in our area here, we've had a lot that lost more than 50% of their hives when they went and checked last weekend.
Every beekeeper will tell you every year they have a 20 to 50% lost every year.
And that scares me because that's a lot of money.
Yep.
I
need a barn first. I would love to have a barn. Can't have a barn.
Water glassing eggs.
Yeah, it's water glassing. You can put eggs in wood ash as well. I think the next one is amber. This is for you, Remi.
I think the next one is an amber one. Next what? Next beer?
Oh yeah, probably next beer. Yeah, nice. Well, I thank you for coming and joining us, and
thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure, and thank you everyone for popping in and having a chat. And I wish everyone to have a nice week. Take care, everyone.
We're on March break here.
Everyone.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good night.
Take care, everyone.